Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. My name is Nick. Bambu Studio just got a big update, and I'm going to be walking you through all of it. We're covering two releases here. First, 2.7 beta, and then 2.71 public release that just came out yesterday. Everything in plain English on every feature so you know what each one does and whether you'll actually use it. All right, let's get to it. Real quick before the features, if you're running 2.7 beta right now, go and update to the public release. The beta can throw slicing errors in some cases, and the 2.71 public release clears all of that up. So grab that public release and you're good to go. Now, 2.7 beta released with a big one. It's called texture to color painting. Here's what it does. Say you have a 3D model that has artwork already attached to it. If you watch my AI to Star Wars lightsaber hilt video, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. These textures are wrapped around the object and you're not able to edit them, and all that texture data lives in a texture file. Now, Bambu Studio reads that artwork and turns it into an actual paint on the model surface. This is a huge step forward for multicolor printing on models, and something that I have been begging for. So now it prints in multicolor, and now you no longer have to paint it by hand. The software does it all for you. In the beta, it reads OBJ files and GITF and GLB files. Here are a few things to know. Stick with models that only have one texture file. For the most part, they all only have one texture file. For multi-texture files, it works, but the quality is still under development and it's getting better. If you have to, make sure that you load each texture file one at a time because it can't convert as a batch file. And if your model has rough geometry, clean it up first. The built-in repair feature helps, but it won't fix everything. Yes, this is definitely a bit of an advanced feature for most. Just know that this feature is being worked on, and I'll go more into this in the next feature release. Next in the beta, they sharpened up mesh diagnostics. It's now better at catching non-manifold edges. This is basically when your model is broken or has zero volume thickness, or just a fancy term for spots where the geometry doesn't connect right. And open edges now get their own separate category. Non-manifold edges show up as an error, and open edges show up as info. So now you get a clear read on what's actually wrong with your file. Next, the beta also added a gradient upgrade called per part gradient. Gradients are when one color fades into another up along the height of your print. Here's the problem this fixes. Say you print a few small objects on one plate and they're all different heights. Before, the gradient would stretch across the whole job as one tall fade. So a part that was shorter than the rest only got a slice of the colors. Flip on per part gradient and each piece gets its own full fade from top to bottom. Every part now gets a complete color range. The short ones look just as good as the tall ones. The last feature in the beta is going to save you a headache. Before, when you would cut a model with the plane cut tool, your painted colors would disappear. So you would have to cut the model, then repaint the whole thing. It was completely annoying. Now the colors stay. You cut and the paint stays right where you put it. You might see a tiny bit of misalignment along the cut, but you're not having to start completely over. I've been in this position many times, and this is a big time saver. All right, that's everything from the beta. There are additional improvements and bug fixes that go along with it as well, but these are all the main features. Hey, real quick, if you're getting something out of this, tap that like button, drop a comment, let me know you're enjoying it. It tells the algorithm that the video is worth showing to other people. All right, on to the public release, which was dropped yesterday. So 2.71 is the public release built on top of the beta. It brings everything that we just covered to a stable version. It also officially adds support for the new Bambu Lab A2L. This release also adds a handful of new features on top, and here they are. The first new feature, the gradient color curve. Remember, gradients are when one color fades to another. In this release, they added a color curve panel. This gives you real control over your fade. Think of it like a graph. You drop an anchor point on the curve, you left click to add one, you right click to remove one. Then you can drag your points to control where the color blends into the next. This allows you to decide how fast or how slow the fade happens as your model is printed. You're not stuck with one simple fade, you get to control it and shape it how you want. The next feature is small but a great addition. The live camera view inside Bambu Studio now goes into full screen. If you have an available monitor, drag Bambu Studio over there and you can watch it in full screen. If you like keeping an eye on long prints, this makes it so much easier. Now, this next feature is something I really like. It's called alternate extra wall. Walls are the outer shells of your print. More walls means a stronger part, but more walls on every single layer also means more time and more filament. So here's the trick. Turn on this feature and Bambu Studio adds an extra wall on every other layer, and it just alternates them. This allows you to get the most strength and you don't have to pay the full cost of time and material. There's only one catch. You can't use this with vase mode or 0% infill. But if you print parts that actually need to hold up, this is definitely worth a look, and this is a great feature. For large prints, such as my dinosaur fossils, where I'm using 6 walls for strength, you can now dial that back and save time and filament. This public release also pushed the texture painting feature a little bit further. Multi-texture models import cleanly now, and the colors come out more accurate. It also got a lot smarter for broken models. When you bring in a texture file, it checks for mesh errors, tries to seal it up, and on Windows, it can hand it off to the system repair tool when it's needed. And here's an extra added bonus. It now imports FBX files. This gives us more flexibility when importing models. Next up, the Filament Manager got some love. You can now add filaments in batches. Select a bunch at once instead of one by one. And if you add the same spool twice through RFID, it stops and asks before it overwrites. As the saying goes, it's the small things. But if you've ever fought with messy filament lists, you'll be happy with this one. Now, this next feature is for the PETG crowd, and it's definitely for me. PETG is great, but it can be a little bit of a pain for multicolor prints. The prime tower is that little tower that the printer builds on the side of your model to clean the nozzle between color swaps. With PETG, that tower could get unstable and fail. This update makes your prime towers much steadier. It turns off the flat ironing on the tower and keeps the line ironing. And it also adds a little extra material for support. The end result, your PETG prime towers hold up a lot better and your multicolor prints are more likely to finish clean. This feature matters to me because I've been seeing a lot more PETG colors being released over the last year. Before, our color selections were pretty slim. Now for PETG, color selection has grown drastically. The last feature is a quality of life fix for LAN mode. LAN mode is the local network mode completely off of Bambu Cloud. Before, every time you restarted Bambu Studio, you had to rebind your printer again and again. So now when you restart Bambu Studio, that connection stays active. Now, again, there are minor additional improvements and bug fixes, and I'm going to drop a link down below for you. And that's the complete rundown. Both releases from start to finish. Texture to color painting, the new gradient controls, the alternate wall for strength, the PETG Prime Tower fix, and a whole stack of upgrades that make the slicer a lot nicer to use. If this video helped you out, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments which feature you're most excited to try out. And again, if you're new here, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't ever miss out on my no fluff tutorials. Again, my name is Nick. I hope you're having a great day, and as always, happy printing.